Hello, good people of Holy Trinity Lutheran Church in Falls Church, Virginia. And hello to all the other people and all the other various places you might be taking in this vlog right now. I had the pleasure of meeting a good number of you this past week during your Sunday Spirituality Forum. And while I can't see you right now, I'm thinking of you as I'm speaking to you. For everyone else tuning in right now, let me again say, I'm Ridgeway Addison, and I have the pleasure of being Holy Trinity Church's theologian in residence during this important Lenten season. This is the first installment in a series of weekly previews that I'll be sharing with you to provide some context as to what we'll be reading about, thinking about, praying about, and living out as we journey together during Lent under the spiritual mantle of the 20th century theologian and minister Howard Thurman. I want to start out this week by saying that I've been imagining that some of you might be loving Lent right now. You're loving it and you're ready to dig deeper into it in this upcoming first full week of reading and reflecting along with Howard Thurman and with me. Others of you, I imagine, might be ready to ditch Lent because of a variety of reasons. Perhaps in your mind you haven't started it well or in the way that you anticipated it. Or perhaps you haven't even decided if you can do Lent in this year, in this pandemic, and in this current domestic climate. Wherever you find yourself today, let me say that I've been praying for and thinking about you as I've written each day, and also I've engaged in my own prayer and reflection with Thurman's materials during Lent. Donna Shaper, the editor of the reader that we're using, has provided some excellent preface materials in Augsburg's 40 Days with Howard Thurman text, both in terms of biographical overview for Thurman and also suggestions for how to best use this book to deepen your prayer, your reflection, your theological thinking, as well as your more active discipleship practices. I would say to use these suggestions as solid guidance while keeping in mind the truth that the best way for you to engage with this text and the daily devotionals that I write are the ways that you, through experiment, find work best for you. As Thurman himself would say here, trust the grain in your own wood. What's coming up this week? Well, in this coming week, you will have the chance to read through and reflect on passages of Scripture from the Gospels and Paul's letters. And Shaper, toward the end of the week, even sneaks in one very familiar reading from Ecclesiastes. This week, we'll also be thinking and praying our way through some very well-known and very challenging theological and spiritual issues and experiences. God and love, how they're related or not. Theodicy, this $20 word that I used to tell my undergraduate students, simply means thinking about and living in relation to the questions of how to reconcile God's power and God's presence and God's love with suffering and evil in the world. Death also will come into our lens this week as a concept and also as an experience that figures vitally in Christian spirituality, figures vitally in Thurman's own world in particular, and also we'll get to think about how we engage death as both a concept and an experience. Finally, we'll also deal, as Thurman leads us, with where and how the church as local, denominational, national, and global institution has played a part in how we understand science and the environment and the universe, and also how we understand and engage in socio-political issues such as racism, such as nonviolence, and the common good. The church has, for better and worse, played a part in both of these conversations and these experiences. That's it for me now. I hope that your first few days of Lent have started well. I'll look forward to continuing the journey with you in this coming week. And again, as you begin, if you're wondering if you're doing this right, if you're wondering if you're reflecting enough, or you're getting what Thurman is saying, or what Shaper is offering, or what I'm writing, go back to that silence that she encourages for the meditation each day. Open your heart and your mind to God and trust the grain in your own wood. See you on the journey.